Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I am going to explain my October budget. And once I have my full budget for October, I will be breaking down each paycheck that I'm anticipating throughout the month. So, if this is your first time budgeting or if you've never budgeted before, by all means, grab a paper and pencil and I will show you how I do mine, and if you'd like to follow along, you can do yours as well. So the biggest thing about a budget is knowing your numbers, knowing where you stand and what your goals are. So I always budget the entire month before the month even happens, because usually if you have a steady income or if you have like a 9 to 5 and you know what your paychecks are looking like most of the time, you can predict what to do and what's going to happen. Sometimes that's not always the case and things do change, but it's always good to have a budget and know your numbers to be able to hit your goals. So for the month of October, our budget is a little bit different because of some payments that are due that one I did budget for and another I did not. So the first thing in a good healthy budget is knowing your income. What is coming in? So for the month of October, I do receive a payment from someone and they are sending me $169. This number did change. It used to be 186 and starting in October, it's going down to 169. So this person sends me this money every single 5th of the month, sometimes a little bit before, but they always send it before the 5th. So I'm going to use that money because I use this money to pay my bills. And then I am in a dual income household, so my husband gets paid bi-weekly and so do I. This month, my husband gets paid on the 4th and the 18th. His paychecks are usually about $1,600, so I'm gonna say he's gonna receive about $3,200. I get paid on the 11th and the 15th. One of my paychecks is $1,930 on average, and the other is $2,000. So my totals there is $3,930. And then this month, I did save throughout the year for my life insurance premium. I did have a total of $330 that I have in my envelope binders. So I will be unstuffing that amount and depositing it into the bank so that my insurance premium can get paid. So this is all of the income that I'm expecting into my account this month, and this is the money that I use to pay all of my bills. So next thing we're gonna look at is all of the bills that have a due date. So these bills are due throughout the month of October, and the amounts that are due. You have to make sure that you know every single bill that comes out. If it comes out of a checking account, if it comes out of a credit card, whatever it is, you have to write it down and you have to know the amount. So on the 5th of the month, which is my first bill that's due, I have to pay Zales. It's a jewelry store. We bought a gift for our goddaughter for her quinceañera, and we are paying $25 a month. It's a 0% interest credit card, and we are planning on paying that off next month. But in the meantime, since it is 0% interest, we're just making the minimum payment of $25. Next, we have my life insurance that's due on the 7th. This comes out once every year. It's $348. I do have $330 in cash to pay for it. this would have been my last month of saving for the premium. So I'm just gonna let the money come out of the account instead of cash stuffing the difference, which is what, $18, and then depositing it back in. So we're just gonna unstuff the $330, put it into checking, and then let the full $348 come out. Next is my HOA. On the 7th of every month, I pay $102 to my HOA. On the 9th, our city credit card is $124. This is a 0% interest card as well. So very grateful that any credit card debt that we do have, it is at a 0% interest, and the goal is to pay it off before the interest starts. So right now we're paying $124 to Citibank. Then on the 11th, we have Netflix at $17. On the 12th, my car insurance is $352. I was able to bring down my car insurance. The premium for 6 months starts all over in October. I was at $395 last month, and then I think it was going up to $406 this month. But I was able to make some changes, and I got the insurance down to $352. And then on the 15th, and this is what's really affecting our budget, the car tax for our car is due at $410. And this is just for 1 year. On average, we're usually trying to do 2 years, but it was just a little bit too expensive, and I did not save any money for the car tags for this car. So that bill is going to be taken away from other things that we like. And then on the 15th, we have our alarm for our house due at $60, and then our Verizon bill is $244. My Verizon bill did go up because I now have internet with Verizon, and I got rid of Cox. So Cox was due like at the end of the month, like the 27th. And I now have Verizon Wi-Fi for my house included in my phone plan. And I did save some money by switching to Verizon. And the internet is working pretty well. I haven't had any issues. On the 16th, our water bill is due. On average, it's about $95. And this is a high average. So any bill that I have due that kind of fluctuates, I always budget for the most expensive bill that I'm anticipating. So the highest I've ever seen my water bill was $95. So I will always budget $95. If it's less, that's fine. I can save the difference. But if the highest I've seen it in my household is $95, then I'm always going to budget $95 until I start seeing like 6 months trends, like at a lower amount, then I'll switch it. But for now, it's still $95. My gas bill for my house is $58, and I have no idea why it's so expensive. I maybe because I don't know. I really don't know, but it's $58. It used to be like 30 something dollars a month, and now it's at 58. So, and then my SRP, which is my electricity, is also at $211. So these two bills, gas and SRP, they are on a budget friendly payment. So instead of paying what I use for those two bills, like for example, in the summertime, my bill was almost $400. Instead of having to fork up the $400, what SRP does is they average the total amount of electricity I use in a year, and they divide it by 12. So instead of having to pay $400 in June, July, and August, I'm paying $211 throughout the year to average out my bill, if that makes sense. And that also is with my gas bill. I prefer it this way because I have a number to look at every month, and it helps making my budgets a lot easier. But the only thing is like if my SRP bill, if I'm using too much electricity in like a quarter, then they will up the bill to take care of the average so that I don't owe them a certain amount at the end of the year. So that just happened to us last month, I think. It was like 180 something, and then it went up to 211. So 211 is what I have to budget for moving forward. And then my Southwest Airlines credit card, another 0% interest credit card. I pay $45. My car payment is $553. A loan we have is $500. So those are all of the bills that we have with an actual due date. They're scheduled from, they're scheduled in order. So the 5th through the 24th, those are the bills that I have, totaling the amount at the bottom. Next thing I look at is my variable spending. So on average, my family spends about $400 a month in groceries. Household, I did increase for this month. It went from $80 to $100 just because in the last couple of months we have been going over on this budget. So I am now increasing it by $20. And then next is gas. So I used to budget $500. I'm dropping that by $50 just because of the amount of money we had left over last month in gas. And then this month in October, my family will be on vacation for about a week. So that should save us a little bit of money in gas as well. And then I get $800 to spend. My husband gets $800, but he is going to pay, out of his $800, he's going to pay $58 to our kids' envelope to help fund the rest of my daughter's birthday party. Actually, I think the number changed because we did have some rollover money in gas. Oh yeah, it did. So we actually owe $46. Okay, so yeah, we do owe $46 because we did have some rollover money. So he's gonna pay $46. 800 minus 46, so he'll have $754 for the month to buy whatever he wants. All right, and then lastly, these are all of my savings goals that I have for the month. My mortgage is included in my savings because I'm 1 month ahead on my mortgage payment. Sorry, I'm just gonna change this a little bit. I am 1 month ahead on my mortgage, and so throughout the weeks, if appropriate, I throw money into a savings account where my mortgage is paid out of. But in the month of October, the October bill is already paid from September. I'm saving throughout October to pay for November. Sorry. And then I also have Christmas, my Costco premium, a sinking fund for car maintenance, our pest control payment, which is due every quarter, and then still saving for our emergency fund. Since we are getting closer to Christmas, I'm upping the amount that I'm saving for Christmas. It's normally $50 a month. I'm upping that up to $150. Emergency fund, we try to save $400 a month, which is $100 a week. But because of other bills like our card tags, we are bringing that down to $100. And because of the difference in my gas, I'm putting that money towards emergency. So anywhere I can save or adjust a budget to at least get something into the emergency fund, that's usually my goal. So adding up all my savings, it comes out to $1,906. And then we review everything here at the bottom in the summary. So our total income minus our bills, minus our expenses, minus our savings, we have $29 left over. I always try to have at least less than $50 in leftover money just in case something happens and maybe one of the bills is more expensive than I expected, or maybe we spent a little bit extra in another category, I try to have at least less than $50 in buffer money to help accommodate those two. But if all of this plays out like I anticipate, at the end of October, I will have $29 left over, and that will go to either extra debt payments, savings, or I can roll it over to the month of November. It just depends on what is happening. But that is the first thing we do for a budget. Look at how much money I have coming in. How much are my bill payments so that I can make sure they're paid on time and in full every single month? How much money do I have to spend on myself and for living expenses so I can buy groceries, I can buy gas to get around town, to go to my job? And then what am I saving for, and how can I make that savings goal happen? So if we just ignored savings and we used all of our money that comes in to pay for bills and pay for variable expenses, we will never be able to hit a savings goal. You have to write it down, you have to have a purpose, and you have to try your best to get it done. So the budget, what comes in minus your bills, minus your expenses, minus your savings, should equal $0. That's the overall idea of a monthly budget. So once I have all of my numbers in a monthly view, I then go into my paycheck planner and I plan out each paycheck that we are receiving to make sure our bills are paid on time and our savings goals are hit. So I'm going to be toggling back and forth between the monthly budget and the paycheck planner, just so that I can make sure I budgeted everything. And then my last week, my last paycheck, I should have $29 left in rollover or extra debt or extra savings. So that's the number to look for. So in my paycheck planner, the first paycheck that we are expecting in October is on October 4th, and I have to make sure all of my bills are paid through October 10th, because on October 11th another paycheck will come in. So between October 4th and October 10th, this is the income that is coming in. My husband gets paid on the 4th. I have a payment coming in on the 5th, and then I'm going to unstuff my life insurance envelope to deposit into my checking account. So we're going to have a total of $2,099 for that week. Between the 4th and the 10th, I have 4 payments that are due. I have to make sure that sales is paid. I have my life insurance premium that is due, my HOA, and my city credit card payment. So first thing we do is we're going to pay all those bills. Comes out to $599. Then we are going to give my husband his variable expense money so that he can buy whatever he needs, since it is his paycheck. I'm going to change these numbers because we did have an update here. It's going to be the same amount of $1,350, but the amount that he will be able to use is going to be more, because we now only owe $46 left for my daughter's birthday. So 400 minus 46, so he will have $354. So $354 he gets to keep. The rest will go towards bills, expenses, and savings. $400 is going to go for groceries, $450 for gas, and $100 for household. I used to budget these 3 categories throughout different weeks. Sorry, excuse me, I'm just gonna take a drink of coffee. Excuse me. I used to budget these three categories throughout the week. So I would say, okay, we have $100 for groceries once a week. But I didn't find that very realistic for my family because we usually do like massive grocery hauls for certain things at certain times of the month. So it just didn't make any sense for me to budget just $100 every single month or every single week. So I just started to give my family's budgets in full at the beginning of the month. And all right, you have $400. That's what you have for the rest of the month. Figure it out. So usually those three are always, I usually cash stuff those in the beginning of the month. And then going over to our savings, we can afford to put the $100 into our emergency fund. So I'm just gonna put a little dot over here. So emergency fund is complete. Costco is also complete. Oops, sorry. Costco is also complete, and car maintenance is also complete. So for the month, I already have 3 of my savings goals finished for a total of $135. So looking down at our summary, the total income that we're expecting minus our bills, minus our expenses, minus our savings, we have $15 left over, and we are going to roll the $15 over to the next week. So going to the next week, we are at October 11th through the 17th. Our income is a rollover money of $15. I get paid on the 11th, so that's $2,000 for a total of $2,015 to spend. Between the 11th and the 17th, I have quite a few bills that are due. I have Netflix that's due at $17, my car insurance at $352, my car tags at $410, the alarm for my house, Verizon, water, and gas for a total of $1236. Since it is my paycheck, I am going to stuff my wallet, and this is what I have. I break it down per category, and then I have $400 to spend. And then going to savings, we have Christmas, so I'm gonna mark that here. We saved for Christmas, and we're saving for pest control. So in the first half of the month, all of my savings goals are gonna be met, with the exception, obviously, of my mortgage. But what I'm saving for, I'm gonna be able to achieve that in the first 2 weeks of October. So coming down here, my income minus my bills, minus my expenses, minus my savings, I have $188, and I'm gonna roll that over to the next week. October 18th through October 24th. This is usually the week where I have heavier bills that are due. So the rollover money plus my husband's paycheck, we're gonna have $1788. SRP, Southwest, my car payment, and our loan are all due between those dates at a total of $1309. My husband will get his $400 to spend on what he likes. Since I did achieve my savings goals, there's nothing to save. And then my income minus my bills, minus my expenses, minus no savings is $79. I'm rolling that over to the last and final week of October, which is the 25th through the 31st. $79 plus my paycheck of $1930. We'll have $2,009. I paid all of my bills for the month, so there's nothing due between those dates. I'm going to get just my regular variable expense money, which is my $400. And the only thing I have to save for now is November's mortgage payment, and I'm going to put the entire mortgage payment into my savings so that it can get paid on the 1st of November, which is $1,580. And then looking at our summary, our total income minus our bills, minus our expenses, minus our savings is the $29 that is left over. And that is what is left over in our monthly budget. So everything was calculated correctly. I got all my bills paid, my expenses, my savings were all met. So I like to break down each paycheck, each budget by paycheck, because I want to make sure that our bills are paid on time and I want to make sure that our savings goals are met. Sometimes it's a good rule of thumb to pay yourself first. So basically meaning like putting your savings on auto pay. But if you're just getting started with a budget, sometimes that can be hard, because let's say you're putting $50 towards savings every paycheck, but you're gonna need that $50 to get your bills paid. So you find yourself taking the money out of savings to put into your checking to make sure your bills are paid. That happens a lot, and then that's why we feel like we're not able to save any money. That's why I switched to the paycheck planner, because some weeks my bills are heavier and some weeks my bills are less. So I'd rather save the money in the weeks where my bills aren't so heavy, because the primary goal for everything is to make sure I can pay my bills on time and in full. If that cannot be done, you're looking at so many other money that's being wasted. You're going to pay overdraft fees because your bank is going to overdraft your account to pay your bills. You're going to get late fees from your bill company because you didn't pay your bill on time. Interest, there's so many other fees that are involved when you cannot make your payments on time. So the primary goal always, especially in the situation that we are in right now, everything is so expensive, everything is going up, so our money feels a lot tighter. But if you have a plan and you see where your money's at, you can make changes and really have a goal and have a plan to make sure that everything gets done. So this is what I do every single month right before the month begins, so that I can have a plan going into the month. And I want to make sure that I have sufficient money to pay all of my bills. And even though I normally try to save $400 a month for an emergency, because I can't do that this month because of another bill like my car tags, I found it somehow to at least contribute $100 to my emergency. Even if it's not the $400, I still am making something go in there. And every little bit helps. So yeah, that is what my month for October looks like. And I hope this was helpful. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. If you guys want to buy these templates, they are available on my Etsy shop, but honestly, just get a piece of paper, write down your income, write down your bills. You can do it on a piece of paper. You don't have to buy this, but if you do, it's available there. By all means, go right ahead and purchase it. But yeah, that's all that I have for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Okay, bye.